Kia ora te whānau, my name's Will, and in today's short practice, we're going to release some tension from the neck, shoulders, and the upper back. Perfect if you spend a lot of time seated, whether that's at your laptop, working at your desk, or even on your phone. Let's bring in some space and some ease into these often stressed and tight body parts. So most of us spend far too much time seated, so we're going to start today's practice standing. So let's find a comfortable position, maybe feet around hip width apart. Get the shoulders a little roll, and then just soften into this shape here. We're going to find what we call our stack, which is finding a neutral position with our pelvis and our ribs, which can in itself help to release a little bit of tension when we're using our skeleton to stack and align us versus relying on muscular tension. So you don't have to turn to the sides, I'm just doing this for you here. We're going to start with our hands just resting beside our hips here. And I want you to feel the weight of your feet on the ground. You're just going to take a little rock forward and a little rock back. And just feel that weight evenly distributed on your feet. And then can you find a position where you feel the weight evenly distributed on those 3 points, the heel, the base of the big toe, and the little toe. Many of us, our weight will be shifted forward, and this in itself can create a lot of tension, both in the hips, but also around that upper back, neck, and shoulders. So it may feel a little weird to shift your weight back to feel those heel contacts. Soften the knees here for me. Taking your hands to your hips, imagine your pelvis as a bowl of water. Try tilting water out the front, tilt water out the back. Give this a go a few times. And then again, find this position where we've got a neutral pelvis. The lower back feels nice and long. For many of us, the pelvis will naturally be tilted forward. So it may be a slight, what we call posterior tilt of just gently reaching that tailbone down. We want the glutes to be relaxed here. We're not squeezing the butt and taking the hips forward. Then lastly, just imagining we've got a laser pointer on our chest. It's going to shine forward. And gently allow the ribs on your next exhale to just soften down here and a nice reach through the crown. So this is our stack, our nice neutral position here. Should feel relatively easeful to stand and maintain this shape. Maybe you soften the gaze or close the eyes, and let's just take a few breaths into the stack. As we inhale, feel the belly and ribs inflate. And then exhale, feel them soften and relax. A few rounds of breath here in your own time. Bringing expansion into the rib cage. We want a dynamic rib cage that moves. So you may even like to take the hands to the side ribs. And for the next few rounds of breath, breathe in and feel your hands expand to the sides of the room. And as you exhale, soften. If that rib cage is stuck, it's going to make the shoulders and the neck feel much tighter. So can you breathe a little bit of space in between those ribs with each inhale and exhale? Good. We're going to take the hands, the heel of the hands, into the jaw, and let's just give ourselves a little massage here. So many of us carry lots of tension in our jaw, and this can be a nice way to just create a bit more softness. And then maybe you take the heels of the hands, dragging them down. Little self-massage. Arms rest beside the bodies. Let's bring some gentle circles into the shoulders here. Rolling one way. So make these circles mindful, slow and controlled. So we're not just mindlessly going around. Think about where the shoulders are moving so they come forward, scooping up towards the ears, down and back. A few more here. One way. And then the other way. Our shoulders are a ball and socket joint designed for a really wide range of movements. And here we're just adding a little bit of lubrication by finding these circles. Beautiful. Taking the hip, we're just going to gently turn towards one side and the other here. Again, finding your stack. As you move side to side, can you feel those triangles on your feet? Heel, base of big toe, and little toe. Shoulders are down and away, just bringing some gentle movements into the neck. And then we're going to tuck the chin towards the chest and look to the sky. Any numb sensation or tingling, it's our signal to ease back a little or maybe skip any movements that are creating that sort of response in the body. Beautiful. Before we come down onto the ground, we're going to take those shoulder circles and get the whole arms involved. So from here, you can just start creating big circles here. Maybe the hands start a little wider. And then, depending how the shoulders feel, you can just expand and grow. Some people may feel more comfortable to take fingertips towards the shoulders and then circle the elbows here. It can feel a little more spacious. So options for you to explore today. And then we're going to reverse when you're ready. How does it feel? I'm going to add in one more before we go down. Lovely side bend to stretch all through the lats down the back, those side ribs, and also working into that range of movement with our shoulders. So let's inhale, hands reach the sky. Grab that left wrist, and as you exhale, gently reach up and over to the right. Inhale moves through center, swap hands. Exhale to the left. One more time here. Inhale up, finding that stack, weight in the heels. Exhale, reach maybe a little further. Inhale through center. And exhale. Inhale, come back. Exhale, circle the arms down. Maybe already you're feeling a little bit more spacious. Let's come on down and find our tabletop. We want to stack the knees below the hips, hands below the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide. We're going to play with our shoulder blades, or what we call our scapula here. So finding a neutral position of the spine. Again, similar to standing, we don't want to arch the back or round the back. Finding that neutral position, you may like to try and move between those two extremes to find that point in the middle. And then keeping the arms straight here, gently draw the shoulders away from the ears. We want to squeeze the shoulder blades together behind us and then press the shoulder blades apart, upper back towards the sky. Find a few rounds here of what we call scapular retraction and protraction. We want those shoulder blades to be able to glide across the rib cage. And when the muscles through that upper back, mid back, or even around our sides get tight, it limits this movement here. So sometimes people will try and bend the arms, almost turning it into like a little push-up. By keeping the arms straight, you're going to be able to articulate through those shoulder blades. And if it feels like you're not doing much, that's okay. It's not a big movement. Your chest is going to just lower a couple of centimeters at most, and then lift up a few more centimeters. This may also feel like work if you're not used to isolating these shoulder blades and all the supporting muscles, rhomboids, serratus anterior, trapezius, etc. There, when you're ready, come on off. Give the hands a little bit of a shake. We're going to make our way down onto our backs here. And we're going to take the knees in line with the hips. I like to poke myself in the eye. I don't like to do that, but I do like to support my head with this hand or with this bicep here. Now you could use a pillow or a cushion, but if you don't have one like me, this arm can be great to just bring everything into alignment versus having my head coming down on an angle, which just may invite more tension in where we're trying to release it. We're going to take that top hand to reach in front of us. We want to try and find 90 degrees with the knees and the hips here, so we've got a nice stable foundation. Then we're going to simply just reach this top hand up and over, opening the chest to the sky. And then reverse here. We sometimes call about opening and closing our book. Inhale up and over, open the chest, and exhale to close. Now, depending on you, your spinal mobility, the hands maybe will only reach back to a certain point. Don't push it. Just work with where you're at today. Over time, maybe you're working those knuckles towards the ground here, keeping that shoulder open. But I'd rather you work with where you're at today, listening to your body, than just trying to push through anything Nothing miraculous happens when your knuckles reach the ground. Maybe one more, working with your breath. We're going to swap to the other side. You can simply roll on over. I'm going to go this way so I don't have my back to you. Lying down on the other side. Again, remember we want the knees in line with the hips, 90 degrees. Head supported by the bicep, the hand, or maybe a pillow. And just notice if you're arching through the back here. We want to slide these ribs down, returning to that neutral spine again. It's going to give us more room to rotate. Reaching the top hand forward, you're going to open the chest one way and then close your book here. This side might feel quite different than the other side. For me, it's definitely less spacious here. So you can see, or maybe you can't, but my knees are wanting to lift here. Now I could go further by lifting my knees, but I'm not really gaining any benefit. So I'm working with the range that I have on this side, keeping the knees and hips still so I'm moving genuinely through what we call our thoracic spine, that mid to upper back, where we're trying to create some release and hopefully melt away some tension. Maybe you go one more here. Also a nice big stretch for the chest as well. We know those pecs can get super tight when we're in that rounded position for a long time. Come on up. We're going to return to that tabletop shape. Play with our mounting heart pose. Beautiful release for a lot of these tight muscles around the back and the shoulders. So let's start with the knees under the hips. Especially if the shoulders are tight, I recommend start with your hands wider than the shoulders and then gently start walking the hands away from you, keeping the hips above the knees, and then just melting the chest towards the ground here. Now, some of us may stay a little taller, others may be coming into a deeper back bend, chin or forehead rests on the ground. But if you're sacrificing your alignment, often the hips, I'll see, will come forward and people will be here in this pose. We're missing out on some of that shoulder stretch. So bring the hips back over the knees here. And again, if you're sinking the hips too far back towards the heels, it becomes a child's pose. Not bad, just a different shape than what we're going for here. Child's pose is going to create more rounding through the back. We want to create a little bit more arch here. And I like to actively spiral my elbow creases up towards the sky, inviting what we call an external rotation here. Makes my shoulders feel more strong and supported in the shape so I can melt into it. If I'm completely placid, it can feel a little bit like there's too much pressure going on in my shoulders. So, few breaths in your version of the shape. To come on out, those shoulders may feel a little sensitive, so lift the body up, gently walk the hands in. And we're going to find a seat. I'm sitting on the ground. You can sit on a cushion, a block, a chair. We just want to find a little bit of length here through the spine. And we're going to find just a gentle side stretch through the neck to finish. So allow the right ear to draw towards the shoulder here. Maybe the left hand reaches away. Any numb sensations or tingling, ease on out. You can play with the angle of your chin, maybe gently tucking or slightly lifting to just find a different spot, a different sensation here. We'll move back through center and let's give it a go on the other side. So just start first by drawing that ear down towards the shoulder. Only if you want more, reaching that hand away. The shoulder's rolling in or forward. Remember those shoulder blades? I want you to just gently draw it down your back. Invite a little bit more space into the neck. Great opportunity to return to the breath in and out through the nose, calming the nervous system. And that could be a game changer in helping to release tension in the body, is how we use the breath. So it's not only about the shape, but also the nervous system, and how that breath allows our body to find a little calm, a little more ease, and move away from that stress response. Calm out whenever you're ready. Give those shoulders a nice big roll one way, the other way. Give the neck a little turn to one side and the other. Hopefully things feel a little bit more spacious, a little bit more easeful. You can always come back to this video, perfect to do first thing in the morning or even at the end of the day when you've built up that tension to find a little bit more release and a little more softness. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Mate wa whānau.